Hi, fellow traders. I know it's been a while since I've put out a video. I haven't really gotten on track since vacation. I really haven't gotten any traction, gotten anything going. Haven't done a whole lot. The market has not really been there. I haven't really forced anything in the market. Just kind of took it easy. Um, Went through a little medical crisis here, and now I'm just trying to get back and get my groove going so that we can start moving forward. Earnings, the whole point was to really try to get everything in place, try to get everybody in that wants to be in by the time earnings season kicks off, because we're going to start to see some decent moves, especially early. Now, as far as the afternoon, we're going to continue to see these slow trend following trades that if you're in from the morning and you still have a piece hanging on, those are going to be golden. But there's going to be very few opportunities for you to actually get in and get a good move later on in the afternoon, because the volume is still going to be dying, after 11 o'clock or so. Now we get some breaking news or something coming, yeah, that'll change the dynamic of it. But my key and my dedication was to help you guys. I dedicated the rest of this year to helping you guys who are trying to grow your account. I know there's a lot of people that say, you can't start with $1,000. I mean, even I say you really need to start with a little bit more to give yourself some cushion, but I didn't realize how many people, that's about all they had, and that's all that they could come up with. So, we're going to do it. I don't know if it's the straw that's going to break the camel's back, but I've been trading with that little bit amount of money for the last month, and it hasn't really, hurt. So, I don't see why I'm going to have a problem. But the key is we're going to have to implement some effective practices. My discipline is going to have to be a little bit better in terms of the trades I take. Being more patient and only taking the best setups, because that is what I did when I first started trading, and what helped me get to where I was a consistent trader and was able to make a little bit of money out of the market. I have to go back to being that sniper and getting that discipline. And we're going to look at that a little bit today. But I do, being out all this time, I had enough time to put together a kind of like a webinar type presentation on how to start day trading with $1,000. There's certain things that we have to follow, and there's certain things that we have to accept. Not everybody can come in with a fully funded account and just start making a living day trading. You have to grow to that point. It's just like, somebody out of college isn't going to come in and be the CEO of a company. They're going to have to grow. Even if they start their own company, they have to grow to be an effective, CEO. So, we have to do that. And that's the only way I got to where I am. So that's what we're going to be working on. We're gonna go through the numbers, because I think once you see the numbers, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about, and you're gonna say, hey, this makes sense, this is doable, but more importantly, this is scalable. And that's the thing that you want. You don't want a strategy that's not scalable, and to where you're not going to be able to depend on that week in and week out to make a living. So we're going to be talking about all of that. That should come out this weekend, and I feel that's going to really open up some of you guys' eyes as we go forward. But one of the things I don't want you guys to do, and this is why I say you got to start where you are with what you have, because one day your life is gonna flash before your eyes. Something's gonna happen. You may get in an accident, something traumatic may happen, and you get a glimpse of your life, and you don't want to look up and see this person here that's in the wash tub, just doing rinse and repeat, doing the same things over and over again, that hasn't gotten him anywhere all his life. People working 9 to 5s, when they look back at their life, this is what they're going to see. Just a regular 9 to 5s. Now, people are if you're in an industry and you love your job, you love what you do, that's great. You're not going to be that person because you're going to keep excelling. But if you're that person that keeps going around and around and around, pretty soon you're going to be nothing but bones. Your skin, your meat, the life of you is going to get sucked out. And you're going to look, and all you're going to do is see a shell of yourself. So it's never too early to start making that move to the next level. And that's why if you have, that's why when I had $1,500, people were telling me, there were people telling me, look, the best thing for you to do is save up, $25K, just learn how to trade, paper trade and all that, save up $25,000 and get an account. That was, to me, that was the dumbest advice somebody could have given me. Because, number one, the life that I was living paycheck to paycheck, trying to move, rob Peter to pay Paul, there was no way I was going to save 25 grand. With 2 kids, and a wife, I had a house, I had all of this stuff. My son was born premature, years ago, put me in $1 million hole. So there was no way I was going to save it. So whatever I needed to do was I needed to be able to start working toward my financial freedom with whatever little bit I could put together. And a lot of you are in that same boat. But the thing is, and also, why would I start with all of that money when I really don't know how to trade live? Trading in the simulator is emotionless. It's totally different. Me trading at night in on demand was totally different than when I traded live that morning. So I'm not going to get into a whole lot, any more of it now. I wasted too much time now, but that's what we're going to talk about this weekend, and you're going to get the rest of the story, at that point. But the key is, just don't sit there and let yourself just keep going around and around in the washing machine of life. Before you know it, everything's going to be, you're going to be wiped clean. And there's going to be nothing left of you. Alright, so this morning, I made a huge mistake. I thought that this medicine, the medicine did not say that it was going to knock me out. And I ended up taking some medicine this morning, and I don't remember anything I did. I don't even remember taking this trade initially. So all I can do is just go back and try to analyze this like I would if I was looking at somebody's trades that they email me, that I'm mentoring. And I need to look at the trades to kind of get an idea of what happened, so that when we meet, we can discuss it. That's kind of the only way I can look at this. And, looking at this here, here's a 5-minute opening range low that got put in. Here is the pre-market low. Now, I never like to get in on the break when we've got a pre-market low sitting right here below it. So that's probably what delayed me in entering this thing. But you still need to wait for this candle to close and then get another candle either opening and breaching the low of this, the pre-market low, or the 5-minute opening range low. And what I'm thinking here was fear of missing out is what caused me to click this. But the one smart thing I did do was I think I had my stop in and was able to stop out at my max loss. On the, what I risked on this trade was 50 cents and was able to stop out at 50 cents. I got in at 76.70, 76.20 was 50 cents. And so that was perfect execution. I don't even remember taking this trade. Like I said, and I don't know what would have caused me to get in here. You know, maybe the rejection and, you know, rejecting this level here. But again, you have to wait for this to close and then this candle to really give you some, you know, good feedback that we are losing this level. So still, this wasn't an ideal setup. But the issue here was didn't look like there was a stop in place. Now, had there been a stop in place, I might have been okay with this. But there wasn't a stop in place. And when I woke up, we were testing the 50 here. You know, I had emails and Skype messages and text messages from people saying, hey, you know, your trade's going against you and this. I mean, I was out. I couldn't hear it. You know, so I appreciate all of you guys, you know, trying to, you know, bring my attention to this. But, you know, obviously I was still not really thinking correctly, because what I came up with here was, okay, we rejected the 50. So this may pull back down. And if we pull back here and, you know, I thought we would pull back, potentially bounce off of this, reject the VWAP again, and sell back off later in the day. That's what I was looking for this to do. So I just based this trade again on the 50. And I'm putting my faith in that the 50 is going to continue to reject, because you can see we made a lower high here when it rejected. We made a lower low here on this bounce. So to me, looking at the overall trend at that time, I felt confident that there was a chance, a more than 50% chance we would make this move. But you can see it didn't. Ended up having to stop out here, which caused me to take, you know, a lot more of a loss than I really would have liked. And this is something you never, ever, ever can do if you're trading, especially if you're going to trade with a $1,000 account. That $50 threshold is there for a reason. And it's to allow you to make several mistakes and withstand those and still have enough in your account to be able to make some decent trades to, you know, build it back up. And I just, this was just a complete failure here. So, you know, I'm not going to take any medicine in the morning. But if I have to, I will, and I just won't trade anything. But I just can't remember a whole lot about the morning part of this. But I can use this as a good example. This is the strategy, and you can't count this as, you know, I can't count this as a opening range breakout failure because the setup never really completed the way I like to trade it. For this, because we had, the 5-minute opening range was higher than the pre-market low, this changes the whole dynamic of the setup. And, we're going to cover this in that webinar too, because this is going to be the main strategy that we're going to trade. It's the safest, it's the most conservative, and, part of what I did over the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of days, was I did some back testing over the last couple of weeks. And those stocks that set up, we had a 71% rate of success. Once it set up the right way, it was a 71% chance of success. And I did that over 25 or 28 stocks that I identified. So I know the strategy works. Its execution is what we're going to have to focus on. How well we execute is going to determine, how well we do. So we can look at TXT yesterday. This is an example. Here's the first 5-minute opening range candle here. Set the low. Okay, this candle opened up here. It sold all the way off. It dipped below this. This is why you want to really wait, especially in this market. You want to wait until you get a close below this before you get in. Because by this dipping and you get in, you just got stopped out again. This would have stopped me right back out. And then here, we're coming down testing this opening range low again. Now, if you look at this trade, this is exactly what this did. It tested it, it started to come down, and then maybe that's why I took it. That it came back and it was working. In this case, it would have worked on this candle, on this trade. But the other trade, it wouldn't have worked. But if we were patient, we would have gotten a solid trade out of this. We had gotten a solid trade and then a solid secondary trade out of this. And this is what we're going to be looking for going forward. These types of moves is what's going to help us develop our skill and grow our account. We just have to know how to execute these things properly. And that comes with developing skill. But I saw this yesterday, and this was a nice, a real nice example of, how you need to just be patient and allow the trade to come to you. If you do, things have a real good chance of working out. If they don't, and you'll know, had this stock bounced and started and moved back above these moving averages, there's no reason to keep watching this, because a stock that moves back and forth above and below, moving averages and VWAP, those are stocks that have some pretty good manipulation involved. When it moves above the moving average, you want to see it move above it, maybe pull back and test it a little bit, but then continue in that trend. If it goes up, back through it, come all the way back down, go back up through it, that's not going to go anywhere. It's probably going to stay in a channel, and it's going to keep going above and below the moving averages the rest of the day. And that you don't want to get caught up in. But a solid move like this at the open, a solid bounce like this, here's the pullback and test of the 9. and then this thing went straight through VWAP, right up to the 50. And how many times have we seen this, on these stocks? So, this is going to be our focus going forward, is looking to catch these moves. It all starts with executing the initial trade. That's where the focus is going to have to be. If the trade's not right, you don't take it. It's just that simple. All right, so you can see I really haven't done much. Last week we ended up with 241.34. Didn't really do much. The first 3 days of this week, 0. And now I'm probably, what did I do? Yeah, so I'm practically break even now on the month. Just haven't done anything, haven't traded. So not much to really report. Same thing with all day holds. It has to be perfect. Those months that we were nailing it, we were having 4, sometimes 5 trades a week. We were nailing it. But the reason why the win rate was so good is because I waited for it to set up. I waited for it to set up. I stuck to my plan. I didn't, this is a strategy where you just get in it and you set the targets and you walk away. And that takes that human element out of it. And that keeps me from messing these trades up. I can screw up a day trade in a minute. But these and swing trades where I just let it do its thing, I don't really have issues doing, with those. All right, so $2,004.81 on all day holds. And like I said, we had 241 last week, but actually, I don't really have anything this week. With the negative $200 today, that just kind of kills it. And then, and then on top of that, I just remembered, my son is the one, I turned the keys over to my son, and he's the one that did this. So, I can just say I've been garbage this month. So the Facebook swing, we're going to recap this real quick. And I've been emailing out, the entries and the exits on the swing trades. If you are a member and you're not getting the swing trade emails or alerts, that's because you didn't elect to get them. I'm not just sending them out to everybody because not everybody wants them. So if you want them, you shoot me an email and I will add you to that list. But here's the entry. We broke over. This was a 52-week high. We broke over it this day. So to me, that was a safe entry. Got in right at the open. But unfortunately, it didn't really materialize. And you can see this is where I took some profit here, but I ended up adding, and I forgot to make a copy of the day that I added, but I marked it on here where we had the pullback, and I added right here around where this original 52-week high was. So I added back here, and once we got up to, I was looking for 210, really looking for 210, but ended up getting, just before it. And that was a nice hit. So, we got already locked in 1689.76 for the next couple of days. Yesterday and today, my profit stop was at 207. So that's going to be almost 3. It'll probably be 207.25 tomorrow. That's going to give me 3 points. So if we do sell off, you know, I'm going to go ahead and lock in that profit. That should give me, what, another $900. And, you know, we'll see if it resets, if it's something that I can reset. But, you know, this is what I've been managing over the last couple of weeks. I expect it to give me a bigger and quicker move. I think Netflix, that fiasco with Netflix kind of hurt this trade a little bit. And with the market doing what it's doing, is kind of hurting this a little bit as well. So from what I've seen, we get a push up, we get 2 red days, and then we get, you know, a nice recovery, 2 red days, a nice recovery. So this may in the morning gap down and take me out before we get a bounce. So I'll be watching that. I'm going to let it, you know, I'm definitely going to take it off. I'm not going to sit here and hold it to see if we pull all the way back. I will take it all off, and if I can reset and base it on, you know, maybe this level here, this previous 52-week high, you know, I may take it. But I'll have to assess that, you know, situation tomorrow. See what it does. But that's it. So you guys are caught up with me and what's going on with me. Just stay tuned for that I guess you can call it a webinar or a presentation that I'm going to be putting out this weekend. You know, it's going to lay out everything in probably the most detail that I've ever laid it out. So it should make a whole lot more sense to you, you know, if you're on the outside looking in. So look out for that. And you guys have a great night, a great evening. And I'll see you guys first thing in the morning.